we are led to believe that basically there is no proven relationship between industrial emission and global warming. That is now something that is in the newspapers. That is what my president is saying. This is abductive reasoning, and this is the best explanation of that I can give based on the information that I have. Right? It's less strong than induction because we have actually a known truth. If A is true, then B, C, and D are true. So if I reverse that back, then that has more significance than the abductive reasoning. The inductive reasoning is therefore stronger. Deduction is watertight. That is the deduction that is used by Einstein, for example, when he tried to falsify his theories. Okay, well, if I can find this. If I can see this observation happening, then my theory of relativity would actually be wrong. So that is deduction is the strongest causal relationship that you can have. But it's very difficult to do that in social sciences like economics, because there are so many factors in economics that can lead to different behavior by individuals. That is, we need to generalize this, so we cannot be 100% certain to predict everybody's
deduction.
So deduction in economics is impossible to give. We will never be able to. So that's why we call mathematics a hard science, or physics a hard science, because basically until disproven, we can say something is true. But if we look at a science like economics, we can, basically it's mostly abductive reasoning. There's not such a strong relationship. We're trying very hard to make some sense out of what's about all the influence, and try to prioritize which elements have the strongest influence, and what that means if we observe those elements to what we can say about the future of the economy. That is the holy grail of economics, but it's very limited. As a science, it's kind of soft because we do not have any deductive reasoning. It's mainly abductive and maybe a hint of induction, but it's rather weak.
Okay.
So I think, do you have any questions about critical thinking? And do you believe actually that there is a relation between culture and critical thinking?
Still, I don't understand well why the Kimoto's Globus University, they spend a whole week for teaching critical thinking.
They're lazy.
Lazy.
I don't think so. They have
No. I'm kidding. So, yeah. Well, did you take critical thinking, Kimoto-san?
Usually I don't take care of the critical thinking.
Well, so basically, I think you can go very far. Because critical thinking also involves logics, involves game theory, rational behavior, has philosophical background. So you can talk infinite number of hours about critical thinking.
They very emphasize on critical thinking teaching, right? For everything.
Because what Kimoto-san says is actually very true. I believe exactly. Like, if we can learn the rules of debate very easily. That is absolutely fine. But the essential part is, if you really want to engage on a global level, you will actually need to exercise critical thinking. Otherwise, you cannot gain the respect. You cannot get on the same level, the same playing field as your counterpart. Because I remember very clearly, I had a discussion with my wife at the time, who was still my girlfriend, and I really felt like, you didn't think about this at all, did you? No, not at all. This was the information that she got. but it never processed her mind. She never actually thought it through. I said, well, but this and that and that. Nothing.
How about differences from logical thinking?
Logical thinking doesn't question whether the information that you have is truth. So it takes the information that you have, and you connect those things. But the question of critical thinking is that actually you take what you have and you look at that. Is that really true? So logics is something that a Japanese person can do just as well as a European person, I think. But the question is, the question before that is, before I start engaging in logical thinking, I first need to do critical thinking, because if what I am doing logics with is not true in the first place, what is the point of having a logical?
Critical thinking the first.
Yes. So that's actually a very good question, because that reveals the essence. I think that logics is something that is not culturally influenced. Logics can be done in any culture. But the point is basically, before logic starts, like, okay, do I accept the elements that I am actually going to apply logics to?
I think critical thinking is a precondition of the marketing strategies of financing.
Right. Yeah, or you use it,
Yeah.
like statistics, for example, is logically you can basically present almost anything. You just change your data set a little bit, or you apply a different logical procedure on the data, or a different statistical test to show whatever you want to show. So you can manipulate it. You can manipulate the truth. You can manipulate your story based on actually factual information. So critical thinking is absolutely crucial when you look at any statistical evidence. So logically speaking, we can say that the number of political refugees accepted in Japan has risen twofold. 100% increase in the number of political refugees. That is a fact. A critical thinker says, okay, but how much was it in absolute sense, and how does it relate to European statistics? That is an immediate question that comes up in European minds, and they will say, wow, are you kidding me? Twofold. 2 times nothing is still nothing. Something. Do you hear that? Beep. I hear a bell.
Bell. Alarm bell.
Yeah, you hear it too? Oh, okay, you got that. I thought I had my brain was.
Not this room.
No, probably not.
I think devil's advocate. That's a very strong methodology for the Western thinking.
Right.
Theme A, opinion A. You should define the opinion B intensively and have a discussion.
Right. Right. So let's look at it from there. So basically, so for example, if we are preparing a negotiation, everybody will automatically put themselves in the shoes of the other side and try to argue against yourself. Right? So what would I do in their shoes? What would my world look like? What is my objective here? How can I hurt me, basically? That is playing the devil's advocate is